great to be here. And as I say when I go on the radio, this is Jim Guest, the voice of freedom from the heartland. Tonight we have Ron Paul, the voice of freedom for all of America. As I mentioned earlier here, we do not need the real ID. Real Americans do not need real ID, and I'm very proud to head up the coalition against the real ID across this country. We have been very... When I started my work here in Missouri to oppose the real ID, I found two other states that was working in opposition to it. But I realized then that we could not stand alone, and that's when I started forming my coalition of states around the country to introduce the same legislation. I'm very happy to say, as of today, we have around 25 or 26 states who have passed legislation to oppose the real ID and send a message to the federal government. I think we're all tired of the federal government pushing us around. It's time for us to stand up and say no, we do not need this, we do not want it, and we certainly cannot afford it. Right. Congressman Ron Paul has been one of the leaders in opposition to it, and 2 years ago he was one of only 6 Republicans, I think, who stood up in opposition to it, and I want to read a couple lines that he had in February 9th, 2005. It says, "Mr. Speaker, I rise in strong opposition to H.R. 14, the Real ID Act. While I agree these issues are of vital importance, this bill will do very little to make us more secure. It will not address our real vulnerabilities. It will, however, make us less free. The bill could have a chilling effect on the exercise of constitutionally guaranteed rights." And that's what we are here, to protect the Constitution. Our forefathers fought and established the Constitution and the Bill of Rights to make us free. The role of government is to protect the rights and freedoms of America. But what's happening? The role of government right now is taking away our freedoms. And that's why we must support Dr. Ron Paul in his campaign to be President of the United States, to protect the Constitution, to get back to govern what the Constitution says and what it means. And that's what America stands for, and that's what we should all stand for. We can be very proud to support Dr. Ron Paul. He is known as Dr. No because he always votes no against anything that violates the Constitution. If we had more of our elected officials who would do that and have the courage to do it, this country would be a lot better shape than what it is right now. And this evening, we have the distinct pleasure of hearing Dr. Ron Paul speak to us. He always has been very consistent on the way he votes. All the way for many years he votes are consistent. So we certainly don't have to worry about any flip-flops from this candidate that's coming up here tonight. So at this time, it's my distinct pleasure to bring out and for you to listen to Dr. Ron Paul, the next President of the United States.